Week 12 officially is on your screen. It's a primetime matchup in St. Louis. The Chicago Wildcats doing what they can to keep their playoff hopes alive against the St. Louis Gladiators. Welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody. Chris Curtis and Season 9 SFL champion Ramos. Lynn with the Mexico City Aztecs. Ramos should be a pretty good one. Wildcats clinging to their playoff lives.
Yes, the Chicago Wildcats need this win, and as far as the Gladiators go, they will obviously want to make a spoiler here. Gladiators have been very, very sluggish on offense, but they will get back on track. For them to do so, they need to rely on their running back.
St. Louis, to spoil the party, would rely heavily on Denzel Diaz, as you alluded to. Chicago has their good passing attack. Night, of course, piloted by their quarterback, E.T. King, the SFL veteran. About to get things underway in St. Louis. The Gladiators will receive, and Dylan Aciel will get first crack at the football as we get things underway. Wildcats in the white shirts, the orange socks. Going to kick it off to the Gladiators, which are in their gray uniforms. And we are about to get things underway in the first quarter. This SFL presentation presented, of course, by APM Music. And we are a go at the 10-yard line to the 20, 25. Good return to the right side. We'll get all the way down to the 27-yard line. That's a good return for the Gladiators to start things out. And that is going to be Ethan Kai, who is the return man for those guys. And Dylan Aciel will be out on the field.
We're looking at the Wildcats also. When speaking about the offense of the Wildcats, we're getting back to the Gladiators offense, but the Wildcats offense has been really good in the last, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks.
In the gun, Aciel looking to throw, moves up in the pocket a little bit, spin, pressure coming, and it's a catch down the left sideline. It's a good-looking grab as well. That is Cody Scott, the tight end. His first grab, and that's a good first down, first play.
And that's what they need to do. They need to find some balance on offense, and they need to, start throwing the ball a little bit more with the wide receivers. The receivers that they have, the star receivers that they have, a couple of receivers, they need to get them involved as much as they can.
In the gun again is Aciel. 3 coming, thrown right side, caught. Good catch between the seams, and that's going to get down inside of the 30-yard line. And don't look now, but the Gladiators are moving the football really, really well.
Wow, it's a perfect throw by Dylan Aciel. I'm very impressed on that throw, and he shows his arm strength, and I think it's been the situation where the Gladiators just need maybe one more piece on offense because they have the quarterback.
Aciel looking to throw. Third play of this drive goes to the outside. It's a quick grab for Nick Finch, his first of the game, and it's going to get to the 24-yard line, 2nd and 6.
Find the open guy. I mean, it's okay if it's just a 3 or 4 yard game, but find the open guy. Try to get players one-on-one situations, and try to involve your receivers as much as you can.
Under center, the back we have not seen yet, Denzel Diaz. He's the deep back in the side formation. He'll get the football. Has a run through the tackle. He's got a first down though. Forward progress puts him at the 19. And they are, for the first time, in the red zone on offense.
And the Chicago Wildcats, on defense, I think they need to key on Denzel Diaz for this game. I mean, they have a couple of receivers, St. Louis does, but I think that Denzel Diaz is the motor that, keeps this engine going. So they need to spotlight a couple of linebackers, I will say, on the running back.
Wildcats showing blitz. Will they send the extra help? They will not. Send 4. Aciel to throw to the flat. Has Diaz out there. Not much left on that. As we'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Also, Aciel took a huge shot on that play. I believe it was Clinton Hendershot who got in and gave him a little bit of a shove.
Hendershot is one of the hardest hitting defenders, period, here in the SFL, and he's huge. I mean, he's bigger than pretty much every single running back on the field, and he is maybe as big as tight end. So he is one of the hardest hitting players here in the league.
In the gun, Aciel maybe looking to fire a strike, looking, end zone, got it! That's a touchdown, St. Louis trying to play spoiler, and they've got the first strike. It's Cody Scott that finds him in pay dirt.
Wow, what a perfect throw on that one. That was a perfect drop in the bucket. It's a touch pass. You need to have enough arm strength, obviously, but you need to have the arc because that's between two defenders.
Yep.
That's not easy to do.
Looks off the safety and then burns the safety. Very nicely done by Dylan Aciel. He's got a first strike for him. And the Gladiators are on the board early in this game. That's a good start. Left-footed kicker is going to be Matthew Martin. He will put it through the uprights should this go through. Snap good, hold good. Left foot is through the uprights. Good stuff from Martin, and the Gladiators have the first strike in front of their home faithful. They're sitting on a 2-9 record, but they can definitely put that third win in a huge column against their crosstown rivals, the Chicago Wildcats. It's a battle of the Midwest. Just a geographical rivalry between these two, well, now veteran teams.
Yeah, definitely. And this is two teams, you know, Chicago has been in the championship game before, and St. Louis trying to get to the playoffs for the first time. They will try to do it, obviously, next season.
And that's going to get back to the 27-yard line, and that's a look at Corey Carter, the wide receiver, who brings that one back. E.T. King out on the field. He was 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions a week ago, but had 279 yards through the air in their 24-23 thrilling win against Carolina. King to throw. Throwing on a little bit of a cross. That's a catch to the outside. It's a 1st and 10 to the 39-yard line, and that is going to be J.C. Torres. He had a touchdown last week as well.
Yeah, what an effort by Torres. And ever since E.T. King got his 2 new wide receivers, he has been really, really sharp. You know, the beginning of the season, he was really sluggish. And ever since he got the 2 wide receivers, Torres and Willis, he has been, well, Willis is a running back, but, you know, those new pieces, he's been just so good at getting the ball to his targets. You know, he found the chemistry with the new guys, and the offense of Chicago has looked really, really good since.
3 at the top, 1 at the bottom for E.T. King. He's got his running back in the flat as well. Short crossing pattern will net them 5 yards, and not much more than that. They'll say 6. And that is a completed pass indeed, and that will be a 2nd and 4.
Makes it 2nd and manageable, and I think that they have to give the ball right now to the running back Willis. You know, it's a formation where they like to swing the ball to the outside of him or run into the inside on a trap play.
Looks like Gladiators are smell and run. King is going to throw, has pressure coming. He's going to get speared to the ground. He goes at the 38-yard line, and that is a big hit. It's going to be 3rd and 10. 3rd and 16, sorry.
And that play is all on not only Ethan Kai obviously getting on the safety blitz, but also on the corner that's good with the running back. That's why E.T. King did not throw the ball. If he throws the ball, that's intercepted. So he just preferred to, hey, I'm going to eat the ball and I'm just going to take a sack. But what a job on awareness by the corner of the St. Louis Gladiators.
King looks to throw, plenty of time, puts it over the middle. That's a catch, and it's going to be a 1st down. That's a big catch on 3rd down. Their first 3rd down conversion of the game, and it goes to J.C. Torres once more.
Yeah, and another beautiful throw. This is another pass where, you know, you need to have enough arm strength, but you need to have touch. You know, this is an arc. This is like a rainbow kind of throw because you need to put it just behind the linebackers and also in front of the corner. So just exactly where J.C. Torres can get it.
Taking a look there at Colin Douglas, the veteran defender. 3 at the top in this 3-wide set. Handoff. That is going to be Willis. He goes a couple of yards, get it up to the 44-yard line. 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats offense.
In a 2nd and 8, you know, this is a situation where the Wildcats, they just have so much talent on offense. I don't think they need to panic. I think that you can even give the ball again to your running back, maybe to the left-hand side, and get some good yardage.
It's a running formation. We'll see what they do. They threw last time in this formation. They'll throw again. To the outside, it is for Willis. To the right, he's going to try to bust through a tackle, but it's not going to work. He'll get out to the 42, but no farther. It creates a 3rd and medium for the Wildcats.
Yeah, in a third and medium, this is where they want to get, J.C. Torres involved one more time. Probably on an out route, they like to do that, or even go into another in route, just like they did a couple plays ago. But I think this is going to go to J.C. Torres.
And looking to throw King over the middle. It's tipped and incomplete. That's I believe, a defensive tackle that got back there to make that play. What a hustle play by the Gladiators defense, and they get off the field.
Yeah, and great job of getting all the field and making a stop. This is not field goal range, so St. Louis effectively does a full stop, which is huge. I mean, this is a team that has been, again, struggling on offense, and they need all the defensive help that they can get.
Ethan Kai deep in his own territory, ready to receive the punt. 20 ready to come after it as the punter stands on the 43-yard line. Nearly got home, not quite there. It'll be a fair catch called for at the 10, and Kai will grab it there. ACL coming out after the touchdown drive has a chance to put his team up 2 scores. Wildcats defense has to stand up, see if they can do that with their playoff lives clinging in the balance.
And again, I think that St. Louis has to do what they did in the first drive. They got involved, they got Denzel Diaz involved, but at the same time, they spread the ball around really good to the receivers, including the tight end. So, the tight end is one of their best targets, especially catching the ball. He can block as well. So they need to get the ball to him.
ACL to the outside on the spread out formation. That's a catch. It's a 6-yard grab. Looks like Tito Moss, the backup wide receiver, comes in and makes a play.
And so far we've seen a St. Louis Gladiators offense that has involved the non-contracted receivers in the first 2 drives and in short passes, safe throws, which is, I think, that what you have to do. If you put the ball up top, double coverage sometimes, I don't think they have the ability to get it, but, the dink and dunk, as people call it, I think.
That's Diaz busting through the line. He's going to have a first down out to the 24, the 23 is what they'll say, but it's 1st and 10 regardless. And that's a good-looking jump. That's a good-looking jump on the line.
It is, and 1st and 10 again. It's something that St. Louis has been again struggling to do consistently this season. Is just stringing drives together. They get a big explosion play and they just kind of stall. So they need to start, just linking those first downs.
To the outside, ACL has a catch to his target, and that's a 5-yard completion. These 5 and 10-yard completion, or 5 and 6-yard completions, are really debilitating the Chicago defense as Tito Moss grabs another.
And this is something that is super desperating for a defense. And if you're a defensive coordinator, is the fact that the opposing teams are going methodically down the field. They did it last drive with short throws, and we're seeing the same again. It's when your defense gets tired, it really puts a toll on not only the defense but your offense.
And it's a run through the middle, but not much behind it. It's going to make a 3rd and 3 scenario, as that is Diaz who gets stopped near the line of scrimmage. And this creates a massive 3rd down for the Chicago defense, who does not want to go down 2 scores.
Yeah, they don't, obviously. And, they need to make a stop here, get some decent field position, and try to put something on offense. This is man-to-man coverage, so let's see if they do kind of double move or something.
ACL looking to throw. No, he had a target, but a big hit is going to take the ball away. That's a huge play by the linebacker, and St. Louis will have to punt.
What a play by the linebacker on that one. It's a clean hit. He goes to the stomach of the tight end, the linebacker does, and just buries him to the ground, stripping him away from the football. So a great textbook play on defense by the Wildcats, and they will get the ball back. So they might get the ball back at around the 30-yard line, 35.
Depends on how long this boot is from the punter. I don't think, to my knowledge, that it's Martin punting. It'll be a fair catch called for at the 38-yard line, and that is where the Wildcats will start this next drive. 1st and 10 for E.T. King and company as they try to bring this game back as we play. Just getting things started, basically, here in St. Louis. If you guys are just joining us, welcome in. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday evening with us here on YouTube as the SFL's playoff race is heating up. As E.T. King is under center. First handoff goes to Willis. He's going to get through a tackle, but get all the way down to the 44. It's a 5-yard gain, and they will have 2nd down.
Yeah, and I think they have to give the ball to Wilson a little bit more right now on this drive, because your defense does need a little bit of a rest. You know, they got to stop and everything, but you know, they've been on the field for the most of the first quarter, so I think they need a rest, and I think that you have to run the ball a little bit and just try to play some time of possession here.
Keep breaking him down. King is going to try to throw, but he's going to get taken down. Second sack of the game for the St. Louis defense, and that is a big one. This time Scott LaRue, the defensive end, gets in and takes him down.
And yet again, we saw you know, the corner of the St. Louis Gladiators just stick with the running back. You know, we don't see that very often. I'm not sure if he is kind of going man-to-man with the running back, which you don't see a lot out of the corner, but you know, that's what he did again. He was just shadowing the running back all the way, and E.T. King again had to eat the ball.
Under center, King to throw, looks, heaves it over the middle. It's tipped and incomplete. Good coverage out there by the safety, and not able to bring that one in is Simons, who had a good shot at it.
And the St. Louis Gladiator defense, again, you know, right there to make a play, and they've been so good. They do, you know, this first quarter, shutting everything down. You know, other than one catch by J.C. Torres and everything, they have been able to shut everything down so far in the first quarter.
To answer your question, that is Shane in the chat. It was Ethan Kai with the first sack on the safety blitz early in the first quarter. Second one goes to Scott LaRue. This punt will go end over end down to the 25-yard line and dropped like a sack of potatoes is Ethan Kai, as he will not take the fair catch. It'll be 1st and 10 for St. Louis.
You know, and this team's came to play. This is a rivalry here.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
two opponents. Yeah, this is a big rivalry. You know, two opponents that have faced a few times, and the games between each other are always very exciting.
Everybody else in the playoff hunt really wants Chicago to take an L this week. St. Louis trying to give them that. This will be a throw for ACL. That's over the middle, and it hit him in the hand, but he could not bring it in. That was Nick Finch on the attempt, and he will hit the turf.
You know, and this is what they have struggling in. You know, that's what I say. You know, no disrespect, but I think that they do need to get another. You know, in addition, I'm not saying replacing, but in addition of the pieces that they have on offense, I think they do need to have another receiver, because I think that Finch will be probably better as a number 2 guy, and that's obviously not anything bad. I mean, the number 2 is like Richard Montague, are extremely good for the league,
right.
in the league. But I think he will be his best.
5-yard completion to the right side. That's a catch, and a 3rd and 6 upcoming is what they'll say. Going back to your thought on Finch, I'd be interested to see how long it takes ACL to go to him again after he dropped that ball over the middle. And you know he wants another shot at it. He may get a shot here on 3rd down. Chance for ACL over the middle. A diving attempt is not going to work, and that is Cody Scott, who had a shot at it. It's 4th down. Gladiators will punt.
And to answer your question, it comes to the previous point that I was saying. You say, you know, how long would it take? I think it has to be immediately, because he's your only star receiver. So yeah, you know, so it's him or you know they do have, as you were saying, a couple of, you know, non-contracted receivers like Moss and everything, but you know, he is the guy on this offense. So they need to go with him.
This will be a chance for Chicago to get the ball back. Possible return coming from Jesse Vick. He's got some room to run, and he'll get out to the 36-yard line. 37 is where they'll mark him, and E.T. King is back out on the field. 2 drives, no fruit bearing so far for E.T. King and company. See if they can get a change on that. We also haven't heard the name or called the name of Shan Varner, the tight end. So I wouldn't mind seeing King go his direction on this drive, as it'll be King in the split backs formation. Good field position for these Wildcats. Handoff to Willis, and he's going to get swallowed up by a swarm of Gladiators at the 32-yard line. 34 is where they'll mark him on forward progress. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, and that was a complete whiff by the offensive line. I could not get the number, but it was the guard who pulled to the left, and he just completely missed, completely whiffed on the block. If he makes the block, I'm not sure he's going to get positive yards, maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but because he whiffed, you know, there was this place was blown up from the start.
In the gun is King. Sending for the Gladiators, looking right side, throws to the sideline. It is a catch. And just as mentioned, Shan Varner has his first catch of the ball game, albeit not for much, and they've got a 3rd and long.
Yeah, they need to involve Shan Varner a little bit more on this offense. I think he's a really good blocker, and they really use him as a blocker in the run game. But he also has very good hands, and I think he could be very good in the red zone. So I think they need to involve number 88 just a little bit more. He's not on the field right now.
Which is something to say. 5 wide, and Shan Varner's not on the field. King to throw, has one long, left side, tipped and nearly intercepted a couple of different times. Colin Douglas steps in and says absolutely not, and the Wildcats will punt again.
Wow, what a job right now by the Gladiators defense. I'm so impressed so far. There's one guy over the top that should have been intercepted, but great coverage. That's not very easy to cover. It is really not, and that's great coverage.
Well, Wildcats will punt. Still got about a minute left in the first quarter in St. Louis. St. Louis, of course, up 1 score at the moment. It's a touchdown to Cody Scott early on the Gladiators' first drive, actually. Ended a 5-play drive where it saw them march down the field against Chicago's defense. Punt upcoming. And it's Ethan Kai waiting on the return. He's got the ball this time. He doesn't quite take the forcible hit, but he does get taken down after a very minimal return. Dylan Aziel back out on the field. No turnovers yet in this game. Looking to see if we have one of those in the waiting room as far as this defense is concerned for Chicago. They're pretty good at them.
Yeah, they are, and I think that it comes down again to the fact where St. Louis, they need to put in their best players in a position to be successful, and I think it's running the ball up the gut right now against the defense.
Oh, that's a big catch and a big lane to the right side, stepping out of bounds is going to be Tito Moss, and that is a first down and a lot more into Chicago territory. Wow,
that's completely and 100% of the other. He steps up in the pocket because there's nobody there. And that's that's terrible pursuit, and that's terrible play by Barnes, but that's a great throw and a great individual play by Dylan Aziel on that one.
That's a great job stepping up in the pocket when he knows the pocket is collapsing behind him. That's good work. 1st and 10. St. Louis possibly has a chance to put some more points on the board. They have a star kicker reminder, so they can really be on just the outskirts of field goal range here. Plenty of drop back for Aziel. He's going to throw short, and that is tipped and incomplete. Good work by the linebackers to get in and take that one away.
And you have to play right now as, with your strengths as well, as I was saying. And I think that for the Gladiators offense, I think this game has to be a kind of bit of a dink and dunk, crossing patterns, getting their tight end involved just a little bit more, because it seems that Chicago is playing man-to-man coverage. So if you can go one-on-one, your tight end should be able to win a lot of battles.
Damon Simeon would call this formation the oop-de-oop. 3 at the top, 1 at the bottom. That's a big hit. Open field tackle is going to bring down the target. 3rd and 6. And not much doing there. It'll be 3rd and medium.
And this is not field goal range, I don't think. I mean, they don't have a star kicker, so this is not field goal range still for the Glads. So they do need to have at least maximum projection, which means 4 yards, for a realistic field goal here.
Correction. Matthew Martin is indeed a star kicker.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You're good. That's a hit.
Wow. Well, it doesn't. Well, sorry.
Doesn't matter now. Nick Finch puts him in definite field goal range, no matter who's kicking the ball, as he catches it on the outside towards the left sideline.
And what a hit. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong roster. What a play here on the outside. And again, it's putting your players in a position where they are one-on-one and in the open field.
And first quarter comes to a close here on YouTube as the SFL presented by APM Music as the Gladiators up 7-0 as we end the first frame. Chicago on defense struggling a little bit. We'll see if they can bring it back. Gladiators just outside the red zone. We'll see what they can do. Hand off. Diaz will pull over one, maybe get through two. He'll have a first down. It'll be first and goal for the Gladiators at the 9.
And Denzel Diaz is not like, you know, T-Roy Gaines like 6'2 and 220. No, Denzel Diaz is a shorter guy, a sneaky guy, but look at that. He runs over a linebacker. I think that's Clint Hendershot, which is not easy to do, and then drags a defender to the first down.
Diaz lining up as a receiver out on the outside. 5 wide for Aciel. Already has 1 touchdown throw in this game. He's looking for a possible second one. Chicago sends 4. Aciel to throw. Plenty of time. Throwing. Corner of the end zone. Picked off! And Chicago has the takeaway that they desperately needed. It's A.J. Barnes.
Wow, and that's... Man, where's that going to? Sorry, I mean... This is double coverage, and not only that, but that's thrown directly to the defenders. I mean, I'm not sure if the wide receiver got bumped. I didn't see anything, but that's just a really bad decision and even a worse throw by SU.
Yeah, after he had a really good first drive, he not played nicely with his offense recently. That's going to be a run for Willis on first down. It goes absolutely nowhere, and the Wildcats will have a 2nd and 10 in front of them. All right.
Yeah, I think that Chicago needs to settle down and start running the ball a little bit more. I mean, they just got the ball back. Just calm down, control the pace of this game.
Well, you say that, but then they're in the shotgun. It will be a throw for E.T. King. He's it over the middle, a one-handed grab, and I believe that was, yes, that. Oh, I just lost it. Where did it go? That is J.C. Torres, who had a shot over the middle and grabbed it with one paw and brings it in for a first down.
Yeah, I'm telling you, ever since E.T. King got this receivers, he's been so good. The reason why I'm surprised they're running this formation a lot, I mean, they have 2 very good receivers.
To the outside, that is a catch and a broken tackle, but the second one is a tackle. It'll be 2nd and 7 after a catch from Willis.
You know, it's the situation where they have 2 very good receivers, and you know they're running formations with like 3 or 4 tight ends, even maybe 3 tight ends and the running back, which is not bad at all. But you know, when you have such explosive receivers like they do, I think they need to put them on the field just a little bit more.
King to throw, left side caught, first down and more. It's Shan Varner on the left towards the sideline. It'll be 1st and 10 as Chicago moves the ball.
And I thought that play was doomed from the start because he got a little bit of pressure. E.T. King did, but he was able to find the open man on the near side.
King in the offset eye. Defensive line moving. You take a look there at big man Drake Perp, the defensive end. He's had a couple of big plays this drive. Handoff Willis, right side. He's going to get taken down, can't find the edge. And it's going to be 3rd and 13. No, I'm sorry. 2nd and 13 after the 3-yard loss.
And that's what St. Louis has been able to do so well this first half, is just stealing the edges. You know, we've seen a couple times where they wanted to dump it off to the running back, and the corner was there, so E.T. King had to eat the football a couple times, and they've been so good on just not letting Willis to get to the edge.
I formation. King to throw, plenty of time, puts it left. That's a catch. Towards the outside, it'll be Shan Varner one more time. He's not going to have the first down, but it'll be 3rd and a couple.
You know, 3rd and a couple, the field opens up. I think this is another time where it's going to be Shan Varner's range. You know, 3rd and 2. You have E.T. King, Shan Varner have been connecting for many seasons now, so probably a short throw to the inside, like a slant route or something.
3 at the bottom. Handoff Willis trying to get there, but a huge hit at the line of scrimmage. And that is a massive, massive stop. The linebacker comes in, makes the play, and it's 4th down. Chicago will have to punt.
Yeah, that's the former Chicago Wildcat, Ajamu Afolabi, former Aztecs and former Sioux Falls Sparrow player.
Yep.
And, you know, just clogging up the middle. One-on-one, the linebacker needs to win against the running back in those situations, he does.
Punt snap is low, but the kick does get away. It'll get down to the 12-yard line. Caught there by Kai. He will get taken down by a pack of Wildcats who found him and it will be at the 13-yard line for ACL. ACL, who just comes off that interception, needs a good drive to get his Gladiators back into rhythm. They do have a 7-0 lead. They'd love nothing more than to get another score before the end of the first half.
Yeah, and if you're dealing a seal, you have to say, hey, I did throw an interception. It didn't cost my team points, so you still have to be confident, and you still have to be secure of yourself, since the interception did not matter that much, other than obviously you did not come away with points.
First down grab, possibly. No, not quite. He breaks the first tackle, but a nice play by Diaz to get at least 8 out of it. A one-handed catch and a run for the Gladiators. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Yeah, great play by Diaz, and A.J. Barnes redeeming himself with a big hit on that one, because, Denzel Diaz was running with a full head of steam, just lowering his shoulder. I thought he was going to get past A.J. Barnes, but the strong safety does a tremendous play on the tackle.
Chicago playing a little bit off of the receivers. It'll be a handoff to Diaz, and he will go nowhere. It'll be 3rd and 4 after a loss of, I believe, a yard. And they need to convert on this. I believe they have only 2 third-down conversions in this game so far.
Yes, and, on a 3rd and 4, this is a situation where if the Wildcats can get a stop here, it's going to be huge. The whole field position will turn into the Wildcats' favor. So St. Louis needs to this first down.
To the outside. Got to get him there. No, he's not going to get the first down. Ends up short. Diaz gets hit at the yellow line, and the Gladiators will have to punt it away. Still about 6 minutes left in the first half.
Textbook play by the Wildcats. You go to the outside with 2 guys, you stuff him up, and you drop him behind, like to the other side, to your own end zone. So instead of making the running back gain some yards, they push him back, and that's 4th down. Wow, that was close.
That was very, very close. Nearly. Oh, it's a fumble! Ball's on the ground, and I believe Chicago may have it. They do!
Yeah.
The Wildcats have recovered the fumble, and Ethan Kai is sick to his stomach right at the moment. They give Chicago perfect field position.
Wow. And this is exactly what cannot happen if you're the St. Louis Gladiators. You have the opportunity to get the ball in great field position, and you couldn't make it.
King to the outside. That's a catch by Willis. Willis has some room to run. Breaks through 1 tackle. Can he break through 2? No, but he's got plenty of room in front of him to run. He gets down to the St. Louis 41-yard line, and that is a perfect play from the Wildcats offense.
Yeah, it truly is. Again, you put your players in situations where they have open field, it can be successful. Look at that. There's nobody on the screen other than Grass and number 24 running free.
Yep, that'll work. That will work for Chicago. And they quiet this St. Louis crowd a little bit, who's been loud for most of the evening. 7-0. Still about 6 minutes left in the first half. Chicago will receive the ball at the start of the second half, remember. King under center has the ball. Quick snap, throw on the outside. That's Jared Willis, and he will get absolutely nowhere as he gets bamboozled at the sideline. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I think that A.T. King in this case rushed the throw maybe just a little bit. I think he had to wait maybe 1 more second, because when he threw the ball and Willis caught it, there was no offensive lineman in front of him. That's why a screen pass is successful. When you have the offensive line in front of you to make some blocks, and it didn't happen that time. So I think E.T. King rushed that throw.
King looks to throw again for Willis. That's nearly picked off, but it's a catch by Willis instead, and it'll be a 7-yard completion. Get it down to 3rd and 3 at the 34-yard line. They just entered field goal range, have the Wildcats, albeit a long one. See if they decide to go that way if they don't convert this 3rd down.
That could have been chaos here for the Wildcats. If that's intercepted, that's a touchdown. That's a pick 6, no doubt. So the Wildcats just got a really huge break on that one.
Hand off. Willis to the outside. He's going to get taken down. Can't get to the edge, and he may have just pushed himself out of field goal range. It would be a 53-yarder from here, and it's Ethan Kai, who fumbled the ball on the punt, who comes up and makes the stop.
Yeah, you have to punt. And what a play again by St. Louis. This is a team in St. Louis that so far this game has come up in the clutch situations where they need to make a stop. They've done it. They have allowed some yards, but every time they need to make a stop on third down, they've been able to do so.
Fair catch called for by Kai. He's got it at the 16-yard line, and that's where things will resume for ACL and company. All right, well, Chicago, when do we put them on upset alert? Because currently they have yet to really have a good offensive drive, and they are in some trouble here as we close in on the end of the first half. Still about 3 1/4 left in that first half. They need to get a stop here and possibly get some points before the second quarter goes dead. I formation for ACL. Looks to throw, 5-step drop. That's a quick throw to the outside for Denzel Diaz. He's got some wheels as he burrows ahead. It'll be a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1 for the standout running back.
Now, how about the speed of Denzel Diaz on the outside? He's a very shifty guy, who has deceptively really powerful legs. He can put defenders on his back, but he's a guy who you put on the outside and he's just really hard to chase from behind.
Throw to the outside, catch. I believe that's Nick Finch who came across to grab that one. And that is Dylan Aciel's, he's a good rating so far, just south of 95. 1 interception in the end zone so far. And it's a 1st and 10 on a new set of downs. Take a look there at the man in St. Louis. Whatever happens this season, chances are he'll be back next season, unless something crazy happens with the roster. Handoff Diaz, left side, has a run through the tackles, but it's not going to go very far. It'll be a 1-yard gain. It's 2 yards, 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 on that one, and and this is the type of game that St. Louis wants to play. It's a situation where you know that you don't have the most powerful offense, so you want to be in this type of games. 10-7 games, 14-13 games. Those type of games are the games where you can get some W's.
120 seconds left in the first half. 2-minute warnings upon us. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. And Gladiators have the football, trying to waste as much time as possible. See if they can do that. And the gun is ACL. 3-step drop, looks to throw. Seed over the middle. What a play on defense. Was that Hendershot? It was. Hendershot comes up, makes a beautiful play in the middle.
Yeah, Henderson is a guy that is more like a run stopper kind of linebacker, but right there, he drops back in coverage and makes a great play, a huge play on the deflection. Almost got intercepted as well. So, that forces a 3rd and long, and the Chicago Wildcats, they don't have the best pass rush. They're gonna rush just 3 guys here, but if they can put in some pressure, they can force a 3 and out.
Offset I formation for ACL. We've got some targets over the middle. That is an incomplete pass. Dylan Rowland got up to make the stop as the ball got there. It'll be 4th down, and St. Louis will punt probably one last time before the end of the first half.
And I don't know you, but I like this kind of games. There's the sluggish games where there's a lot of defense. It's really a chess match to watch, and it's basically which team blinks first is gonna lose this game. St. Louis obviously got their score on their first drive, and it's been a situation where both offenses have stalled, and you never know what's going to happen next.
Oh, that's going to be a takedown as the Wildcats will get the football. As that was Jesse Vick on the return that went absolutely nowhere. E.T. King back out of the field. If you're wondering what you're watching the world's first controllerless simulation esport. Everybody on the field, most of the people on the field anyway, are personas of real-life counterparts that are progressing their players and abilities. Coaching staffs put the game plans together, and then they come out and play the game for real. We're in week 12 of our 11th season. That's a catch for E.T. King as that was J.C. Torres who gets up and makes a play. 4 receptions on 5 targets for that man.
and JC Torres is the guy here on the receiving end for the Chicago Wildcats. Obviously, they have Shannon Varners, who has very safe hands, but he's the #1 wide receiver, and obviously this is the favorite target of E.T. King this season.
On the run, going to the outside. That is a catch and a good job. I believe that was Torres. No, I'm sorry, not Torres. That is Buchanan Simons, who is able to drag the feet and keep it in. It's a first down.
What a great throw. This is a throw that, requires a lot of arm strength because, you go to the far side of the field. And not only that, you are not setting your feet. So you have to basically throw with one foot. And it requires just a lot of arm strength. And that's a beautiful throw and a great catch as well.
3 at the top of your screen. Wide receiver for E.T. King. They're to the outside. Flag is down. We'll see what comes of it. It'll go out to Willis. And usually in the area of offensive holding, we'll see what they call.
Holding, number 73.
Yeah, offensive lineman got a little bit too handsy for Chicago. St. Louis fans love it. And that is going to go back a little bit. Repeat of down. 7-0 still St. Louis as time ticks away in this first half.
And this is not bad field position here for Chicago. It could be way worse for them. This is 28-yard line. They have a lot of time to manage a drive and get some points at least.
Oh, what a big hit! Another sack for this St. Louis defensive line. Mandrake Perp gets in and takes him down. That's the 3rd sack of the game for the defensive line for St. Louis.
And the offensive line on Chicago really, really struggling so far on controlling the defensive line of the Gladiators, not only on sacks, but overall they have been unable to run the football successfully, and E.T. King has been under pressure a lot this game.
King looks to throw, plenty of time on the drop back, heaves it over the middle, gone, and it's a catch and a timeout called by the Wildcats, and that is Buchanan Simons' 2nd catch of the game, and it's a big one.
And this is what has hurt the St. Louis Gladiator defense. They can put some pressure on the QB, but they allow a lot of explosive plays. They cannot prevent sometimes receivers to go behind them. So they allow just a lot of 30, 40, 50-yard plays, which obviously really hurts their team.
Under center, E.T. King still 32 seconds left here in this first half. To try to get points, puts it over the left side, caught, and it is JC Torres to the house. That is a Chicago touchdown.
Not sure why I think the corner, which was Colin Douglas, got lost on the coverage. I'm not sure. We will see on the replay of Torres getting the paint. It's like, did he do a double move or something? Well, we will not see from his perspective, but I think that he just ran past them.
Yeah.
And I think it was just completely the wrong coverage or just the lack of communication by the St. Louis Gladiator defense. And again, this is something that the Gladiators defense does, and it obviously then doesn't help their cause. It's just allowed a lot of big explosion plays.
Yeah, that's not a good turn of events for St. Louis, and the crowd's letting them know it. That was Colin Douglas was on the coverage there. I believe he thought he had help over the top. Was really his thought process because he wanted to make sure the middle was covered. Low snap, nearly taken away, but it is an extra point that is good. So Chicago does come back to tie the game up. Waiting on the boys in the truck to update the graphic on it, but it'll be 7-7 when that gets done as the Wildcats and the Gladiators are knotted up. Wildcats trying to hold on to their slim playoff chances at the moment. They're sitting at 6-4 right now. A 7th win would be glorious as they go into the final week. That's going to be, not the final week, but this will be a run back for Ethan Hyde. Just the run. And talk about a guy who's had a Jekyll and Hyde first half. He fumbled a punt return earlier, but he has a really nice return here to the 39.
With 19 seconds, I mean, even though this is not bad field position, I think that even though you have your 3 timeouts to have, I mean, if you get a sack here for, like a strip sack or a fumble by Diaz or something, I think this is going to be really, really bad for your team, and it will really put your morale down. So I think you have to just take this to the half.
And off. Diaz looking to break through one, but not get very far. It'll be a 2-yard gain. No huddle offense for the Gladiators. Looks to throw to the outside. It's Diaz again. He's got some motor. He's got some room to run as well. Down the sideline. He's going to get cast out of bounds as well. But that will end the first half with that play as the second frame is done with zeros on the clock. And that is going to do it. 7-7 Wildcats and Gladiators in St. Louis, the gateway to the Midwest. This is the SFL on YouTube presented by APM Music. And we will go to Ramos for his halftime thoughts.
You know, I think that St. Louis has played as they want to play their games, which is low-scoring affairs, kind of like an ugly slugfest, which, you know, these games I really like. You know, and if Mike is here with me listening, he can attest to this. We love those 2-0 games, 3-2 games, 7-7 games. We love them. So this is their game. As far as Chicago, I think they need to open up their playbook a little bit. I think they have been a little bit gun shy. Etikin has been, and when he's thrown the ball down the field, he's been very successful. So I think that in the second half, the Chicago Wildcats need to probably test the deep part of the field a little bit more.
See if they can do that. Ramos will now take a quick break. You can watch the halftime highlights as we come back to St. Louis after this. Back in action, just in the shadow of the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. We are back for the second half. Wildcats and Gladiators getting set to do battle. Wildcats, of course, mentioned they are in the hunt. A couple other teams in the hunt. The Atlanta Swarm walking into this week, and the Vancouver Legion, believe it or not, rising from the dead, are working their way back into it as well. As don't have an updated playoff picture, but we will have one at the conclusion of matters tomorrow night as we go into week 13. This ball is back to the 25-yard line. Chris Curtis, Ramos, Lynn with you in the booth, high above where things are safe, where things are not getting tackled at full speed, and we appreciate that. 1st and 10 for ETK and company. And
where we have AC.
Yeah,
which is
that's important.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, and looking at Vancouver specifically, they need St. Louis to win, and they need a win by the Sharks. So far, they're losing 38-17 to the Aztecs. So it's important here, 2 games for Vancouver in the playoff picture.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They really have to win out to have a shot as well. As you see, Jared Willis get a couple of yards. 2nd and 4, the playoff race in the SFL, the most wonderful time of the year for us analysts up here. It's always a good time, and it always creates a lot more drama than there is, say, in week 4 in the SFL. So plenty on the defensive line for St. Louis as they try to bring some extra heat. They've got 3 sacks so far. Willis gets the ball, has some room to run, and he'll have a first down off the right tackle. 1st and 10 at the 39.
And that puts Willis on positive yardage at the end of the first half. If you saw the stats, the Wildcats 0 rushing yards, which has been an important part of why the Wildcats have been able to score only 7 points in the first half.
Well, they need to utilize him. They need to wear down the St. Louis defense. See how much he touches the ball in the second half. King gets rid of the ball early. Jared Willis will get the football, but he does not go anywhere as he can't break that tackle. He does get back to the line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10.
You know, the Aztecs score one more field goal, and they put the game 41-17 with 3:27 left in the third quarter. So, you know, that's important in the playoff race, not only for Vancouver, as we were saying, but, you know, every team, you know, for seeding and everything. This is important. Obviously, Sharks wanting to play spoiler, just like the St. Gladiators on the Wildcats.
Under center, split backs formation for E.C. King. Plenty of drop back. Looks to throw. He's taken down again. 4th sack of the ball game for the St. Louis defensive line, and that is another one for the big men up front. This time Shane Masters gets in.
Wow, what a play by Shane Masters. And again, you know, it's the very struggling offensive line here for the Wildcats. At least this game, they have been, you know, really off sync. It's not like, you know, it's just a situation where it's 5 linemen against 4 rushers, and they still, it seems that nobody's blocking them.
Over the middle and incomplete. Looking for J.C. Torres, and Freeman Peltier really had a shot to intercept that, but he couldn't bring it in.
Gabriel Manning returns the kickoff to the touchdown, so it's Aztecs 41, the Sharks 24. In the third quarter. So again, you know, this is important for seeding, not only for teams that are gonna get in or not. It's just for seeding, whether, you know, the Aztecs end up being the 6th seed or the 8th seed or whatever seed they are. You know, this is huge for playoff implications.
Punt upcoming. Punt end over end. It'll get all the way down. A fair catch called for by Kai at the 30-yard line. And that's where he will bring it in. Dylan Aciel back out on the field for his first drive of the second half. 7-all. Hard to believe. Competitive games, though, as the Gladiators really punching above their percepted skill level based on their record. And it's not what Chicago wanted to see, but everybody else that's in that playoff race for sure wanted to see it, as a lot of them are looking at Chicago right now as an adversary. To the outside, Diaz has some room to run, breaks through 1, not 2. He'll get taken down after a 6-yard gain.
You know, with a 6-yard gain, it's you know, it's again, you know, something that the St. Louis Gladiators need to do. I mean, they need to stay true of what they are, and what they are is a team that can move the ball methodically. You know, if you throw the ball, you know, deep and just try to go, you know, Alaska and just, you know, throw the ball deep, that's not gonna work. They need to stay true with what they are, and it's just, you know, safe throws and rushes.
And Diaz has a first down as he gets it past the sticks. 41-yard line is where they're at. The Chicago Wildcats, they sent a run blitz on that. They could not quite get home, and Diaz able to gash him for the first down, but they really could have used a stop there.
You know, as we spotlight the tight end, Scott, and, you know, he's a really good blocker, and it's been, you know, he's another lead blocker for Diaz.
Oh, and that lead block does not amount to much, as it's going to be a takedown for this Chicago secondary. Dylan Rowland is going to come up and make the play. It'll be a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and, you know, it's the opportunity here for the Wildcats, where, you know, they have them in a second. You know, whether if they can get another stop at the line of scrimmage or force an incompletion, it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Yep.
And now you can pin your ears back. Now the defensive backs can make a play.
Oh, what a stiff arm. Diaz knocks him to the floor and makes it a 3rd and medium. That's a huge play by him, and it makes it a little bit more manageable. At 3rd and 4, St. Louis needs a couple.
Or that. Or that can happen.
That works too.
Yeah, that works too. You know, Maurice Spurgeon, a guy that we've not saying a lot much, because, you know, again, this is a team that doesn't throw the ball deep too often.
That's a chance for Aciel. Weaves it over the middle. It's a catch as he split the seams looking for Nick Finch, and he found it. That was in between 3 Wildcats at the 1st and 10.
Wow, what a throw here by Aciel. This is the best game I've seen from Aciel in quite some time. He gets bumped, the Finch does. And unfortunately for the Wildcats, the safety is not in position. You know, he's behind the wide receiver, and he cannot make a play. What a play by St. Louis, and this play puts them almost in field goal range.
Maybe they utilize Finch a little bit more, trying to gain some momentum for their number 1. Gladiators in the gun. It's Aciel. To his left is Diaz. Plenty of time to throw. Throws short. Turn and run, and that's a catch and a first down. And I believe that is, nope, not quite Scott. It'll be a 1st and 10, though, as the Gladiators make something happen.
Wow, what a job by the offensive line. I think that ACL could have gone up here in the book, get some AC, then just go below again and throw the ball. He had all day to throw. I think that was just a 3-man rush by the Wildcats, and it didn't work that time.
ACL to throw, pump fake to the outside is Diaz. Has some room to run, trying to stiff arm him again. And that time it's not going to work. Good run back. It'll be 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard gain.
You know, and the Gladiators obviously wanted to keep this drive moving. I think they need to run the ball here on 2nd down and 6. Because you cannot rush or you cannot get another interception. You know, it happened in the first half where Dylan Asil threw the ball in the end zone, double coverage, got picked. So, you know, he goes an empty set here. So this is obviously pass.
Empty set, got to pass it, looks to throw. Asil short, got a catch. And is that Nick Finch again? I do believe it is. And he'll have it inside of the red zone to the 12-yard line. That's a big play from him, 2nd catch of the drive.
And again, what a job by the offensive line here of St. Louis. I mean, this is, you know, in this drive, the offensive line has been completely on point.
St. Louis can take the lead back here. They're 1st and 10. They can still get a 1st down at the half-yard line. See what they can do. Aciel looks to throw. Plenty of time. Corner. Got it. Touchdown, St. Louis. Tito Moss.
Wow, Tito Moss. Wow, what a play to get in the paint. And he was completely wide open. That's an out route, and that's the type of route that you, as a coach, as your receiver, to do. Just get in the end zone. He runs the route perfectly to the perfect spot. You know, because we've seen it sometimes where the receiver runs the route just behind the sticks or behind the goal line. So he makes sure he gets past the goal line, makes the catch, inbounds, and he scores.
Super important play from St. Louis as well. They were able to cap it off with a touchdown pass of 10 yards. That was a drive that spanned about, if my math is correct, about 5 minutes of game time. That is a heck of a drive by the Gladiators and Dylan Aciel. And now Chicago has to try to bring that back, as we're already down to about a 1/3 left in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was a very impressive drive for St. Louis. Just like we saw the first drive of St. Louis, this game got into the end zone. It happens again, and you know it's just so important here for the Gladiators to just stay what they truly are and just play some more defense. They did it tremendously in the first half. So, you know, this is a game where we're curious. You know, we've seen 2 very good defenses, and maybe none of these teams will score more than 20 points. So, I will say that St. Louis is getting closer to a position where they can feel comfortable to win this game.
Corey Carter brings it back to the 30-yard line, and out comes E.T. King, staring at a 1-score deficit. Not quite in the 4th quarter, but he's had plenty of 4th quarter comebacks in his history with this league. In the gun, he has the football. 3-step drop throw, right side, tipped and incomplete at the 33, as Anderson probably would have brought that back had he brought it in.
And that's the guy, you know, Anderson is the guy that has been able to stop those, you know, passes to the flat. Has been there in coverage, and, you know, so far he's owning that right side of the field, that short side, he's owning it. I have not seen many flat passes or out routes going to that side in this game.
Clean game played by both teams. Only 1 flag all day so far. That's important. Under center, E.T. King, handoff, left side, run through the middle, and that's going to be an 8-yard gain, 7-yard gain after the run by Jared Willis.
And a 3rd and 3, you have the ball at the 37-yard line on your own 37. So I think this is going to be J.C. Torres' time. You know, we are spotlighting him. You know, it's a situation where he runs an in route. He's done it a couple times this game, so maybe we'll see it again.
He's at the top of your screen, looking to run it and going absolutely nowhere. Willis is going to get taken down. Big stop by Shane Masters, and the Wildcats will punt.
Really surprised of that call, and it almost worked because, you know, it was just a 3-man rush, and you know, if he gets past that first line, that's a 1st down. But, you know, what a play by Shane Masters. He was getting blocked, and he just sticks his left hand and makes a tackle. What a play.
Ethan Kai deep, waiting for the return. Low snap on the punt, but he does get it away as there wasn't a ton of pressure coming. Kai has some room to return it, and he puts it on the ground again. Did they do it again? Chicago has the football. Oh, man, they just gave them perfect field position once more, and the Wildcats have 1st and 10 in St. Louis territory.
Man, that's just a tough break if you're the St. Louis defense. I mean, you just got off the field one more time and just put in the Chicago Wildcats in a premier position to not only get points, but get a touchdown and tie this game.
King.
I think they have to go to the jugular here. I think they have to throw deep.
They may try that, looking over the middle instead, and that was nearly disaster as the linebacking core comes up to make a play, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you know, a lot of players of the the St. Louis Gladiators were in the box, just kind of playing that short side. So I think that if they try to throw the ball deep, they might have got him.
Ajamu Afulabi on the play there. He will try to make an impact, the linebacker will, on this play. St. Louis looking like they're sending the house. See how many of them back off. They will send everybody. And a run for Willis does get positive yardage. The run blitz does not work. And it'll be 3rd and 6 as he makes it manageable.
Yeah, what do you do? I mean, 3rd and 5. The ball is at the 17-yard line, so the field is slowly but surely shrinking on you. So I think that you have to try to throw the ball to the flats with some blocking and try to get the 1st down that way.
They're in the red zone. St. Louis crowd wants a stop. Will they get one? Willis is going to get taken down at the 20-yard line. Huge play to force a field goal attempt, and it looks like Chicago will have to settle for a 3-point try.
And, you know, for the Chicago Wildcats, you're looking at this, the standpoint of, hey, you know, we just got premier field position. We don't want to throw an interception and just throw it to the garbage. But at the same time, I think that you had to throw the ball and try to keep this drive alive. I think that was super conservative out of the Wildcats.
Well, we'll see. The playoff lives they're clinging to. Snap is good, hold good, kick up and on the way. It is good from 35. So Jesus Garcia knocks it through for Chicago. He's been the kicker there for a couple of seasons. Had some issues for the last couple seasons as well. I remember a season 9 matchup between him or the Chicago Wildcats and Tallahassee Pride. An overtime missed field goal gave the Pride a win. And I know Shan Varner loves to hear everything about that. As we get into the latter part of this 3rd quarter, Ethan Kai has the football at the 10. It is the 20 to 25. A rush forward with the shoulder, but he's going to get taken down at the 27, 28. Nope, they'll mark him at the 29. Why not? And Dylan Aciel will start there.
You know, and the Gladiators again. You know, it was another turnover, but it was only 3 points, so they did get a half a stop. So just try to take things easy here. Try to run the ball a little bit. Give your defense a rest.
Under center is Aciel. Split backs. One of them is going to be Diaz. He will get the ball on the outside, trying to run through one. Gets through one, trying to get through two, gets through two, and eventually gets taken down finally by the safety. Comes up and makes a play. It'll be 2nd and 2.
And I think they have to do a similar thing here in 2nd and 2. I mean, just give the ball again to Diaz. Try to start gashing this defense here in the 3rd quarter. They look a little bit tired already. And I'm surprised, again, they're going into an empty set here on 2nd and short.
Empty set in the gun as well. So 4 wide with that set. Plenty of time for Aciel. Throws over the middle. Caught! And that is Nick Finch again. And he has it over the middle past midfield. And that is at the 45-yard line.
A San Francisco Sharks touchdown. They put the game 41 to 31. And they have scored 14 unanswered. So, you know, Vancouver looking at this very carefully because the Gladiators have the lead and the San Francisco Sharks are getting close.
That's a dangerous time to be a Legion fan. If you are hoping for that team to get into the playoffs, they need the Sharks to lose. So the Sharks are circling, it seems like. Under center is Dylan Aciel. Through the tackles, Diaz has an 8-yard run, 7 yards, but they'll say it's 2nd and 3 as they're well into Chicago territory.
You getting closer again, to scoring position. The Gladiators are, and on a second, and this is something that they have done pretty well. This drive is getting into second and short situations instead of being like 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. It's been 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, which really has helped their cause.
Looks the throw outside, catch, trying to get through. He's going to get knocked down. It's only a 1-yard gain.
Great stuff.
3rd and 2, and a great open field tackle.
Yeah, great open field tackle. That was a first down all the way, and a great, one-on-one tackle by the defenders. And this is, they do have star kickers, so this is scoring range, but it will be difficult. It will depend on the wind, and it will depend on just the overall talent of the kicker.
A whole bunch, yeah. This is at the 38-yard line, so it'll be a 55-yarder from here. This is a throw to the left side, caught, first down, and that is Nick Finch again. His 2nd catch on this drive puts him well within field goal range now at the 29.
It does, and the Gladiators' offense, they need to stay like they have been this drive, a little bit of aggressive, but smart. It's not throwing the ball into double coverage or aggressive. The offensive line has played really well, and they've been able to confidently move the ball down the field.
Under center handoff, Diaz. He's not going to get there. He will go ahead and lose a yard. 2nd and a long 1-yard loss to make it 11. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd frame is done. 14-10 Gladiators, but they're moving the ball in Chicago territory. We'll be back after this on the SFL Network, presented by APM Music. And as I say that, looks like we're coming back. So look at that. No commercial breaks for this particular game. Under center is going to be Dylan Acio. Handoff, Diaz, and he will get 1 yard maybe. And that is a 2nd and 9 coming up. Clinton Hendershot comes up to make the play.
And man, oh man, will Chicago would like to have a turnover here again. This is a 3rd down and 10. And if I'm dealing Aziel to be honest with you, he's in shotgun. I will just play this safe. The safeties are just too good. I would just play it safe, and if you get a first down, okay. If you get a field goal, okay.
They will get the catch, but no first down. It looks like, as Tito Moss has another completion, 89 yards receiving for him. Between him and Nick Finch, they've carried the load on offense in the receiving game. 4th and 2, but they're well within field goal range. We expect a 38-yard attempt from, that is Matthew Martin, from the left hash and the left foot of Martin. Snap is low, but it's a good handle, and it's a very, very... No! It's off the upright!
He missed it!
If I saw correctly, that went off the upright, and that gives Chicago new life as they get the ball.
Yeah, that doinked off the upright. It's so weird to see a contracted kicker miss a field goal like this, and it just
doinked off the right upright, and that's a mistake. No score for the Gladiators. Did not expect to see that. And, now Chicago has a chance to bring it back, and they still can take a touchdown to take the lead.
This could be the game.
This could be. We'll see how E.T. King plays it. Left side, caught! And that, I believe, is J.C. Torres. It is, as he gets it out to midfield.
Wow, this really could be the game. This is a game where both offenses are struggling. So you have to think that... Oh, wow, what a catch. You have to think... Yeah, you have to think that if the Chicago Wildcats score a touchdown here, put the game 17-14, can your offense come back on the field and score some points?
And J.C. Torres, who has torched Colin Douglas most of the night, may be trying to take advantage again. Under center, handoff. Jared Willis is going to run through the middle, and he's going to have a couple of yards to work with. 6-yard gain. It's 2nd and 4.
And it says, what people say, the points that you don't score, your rival is going to score them. So, Chicago trying to get at least into field goal range to put this in a one-scoring game. There's still a lot of time left in the clock, 9 minutes. So obviously there's no time to panic or to rush.
Looking to throw. King, plenty of time. Heaves it over the middle. Tipped and incomplete. He was looking for his big wideout. I believe that was Torres again. No, he's looking for Simons. And Kai says no.
Yeah, that was a very, very dangerous throw. It was in a single coverage. However, the safety played that extremely well. And that could have been disastrous for Chicago. Now in a 3rd down and 4, I think they have to throw the ball short to Torres.
Wouldn't be surprised if they give the ball to Willis here, though. It looks like they will. Right side through the tackles. Can he get there? Did he get the first? He did not. It'll be a 4th and 1. Decision time for Chicago here in this 4th quarter.
I will honestly punt the ball here, Curtis. There's a lot of time, and your defense has played pretty well this half. So I will honestly punt the ball, try to pin them deep, and play some defense. But it seems like they're going for it.
Well, we'll see. They're lined up at least. Defense shuffling around here. Got to make sure they stay disciplined. It looks like they're going to try to draw them offside. No, they snap the ball, and it's a 1st down. Oh, what a play and what a gutsy call by the Chicago sideline. And it's a 1st and 10 as they try to come back.
Wow. That's a gutsy call, and this is a team that wants to get into the playoffs. I honestly, I would have punted the ball. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
You punt the ball, try to pin them in the 10-yard line, play some defense, but what a play.
Well, they keep the drive alive. King to throw. Throws short. Oh, that was nearly a problem. Was that Shane Masters? I believe he backed up and nearly had a hand on that.
Yeah, I think that was indeed Shane Masters. Yeah, it was. Shane Masters having a terrific game so far.
Yes, he is. Has a sack, a tackle for loss, I do believe, and a pass deflection there. So good work from him. 2nd and 10 for King and company. JC Torres at the bottom of your screen. Simons at the top of your screen. Shan Varner in the middle inside the slot. Looking to throw. Plenty of time. Now he's got to get rid of it. Throws. Oh, it was nearly picked off. But it is a catch for Simons.
Man, if that was intercepted, not only it's an incredible play by the defender, but that's also a pick 6. If that is intercepted, there is no Chicago Wildcat like 20 yards away from him.
Offset I formation for Chicago. Looking to, nope, hands it off. That's going to be Willis who gets tackled behind the line. It'll be 4th down and another one that's going to create a decision as Ajamuafu Labi comes up to make the stop.
And now it's another opportunity where, what do you do? I mean, this decision time. Do you kick a field? I mean, they're going to punt. Maybe the wind is not on their side. Maybe they don't trust their kicker enough. But, I mean, if you went for it on the previous situation, I mean, I think you have to at least try to score the point.
Nope. Third, it would have been a 49-yard
That's a terrible
attempt.
punt.
That's a terrible kick by Jesus Garcia. I believe he's the one doing the punting as well. And that is going to get them down to the 19-yard line. That's a problem. And the Gladiators have the football and plenty of time to kill, as I think we'll see a heavy dose of Denzel Diaz this drive.
Yeah, you have to see a heavy dose of Denzel Diaz here, at least on 1st and 2nd down, at very least. You have to see him touch the football, maybe right now to the inside.
High formation. Nope, ACL's going to throw. He does give it to Diaz in the flat, though. He's got some room to run, and he will get blasted out of bounds. It'll be an 8-yard gain, but Chicago stops the clock.
And again, it's 1st and 2nd down. It has to be Denzel Diaz, and I think they have to put Denzel Diaz on the inside, to keep that clock moving. It's gonna move again here, but this is about 10-15 seconds that the St. Louis Gladiators is saving on the Chicago Wildcats.
Yeah, run it with Denzel Diaz. If you need to throw it to Cody Scott in the middle. That should be their game plan at the moment. Handoff, Diaz. He does have it on the inside here. 1st down and a few more as he gets it down to the 37-yard line.
That's a great play by the offensive line. What a job! But both lines of the St. Louis Gladiators has been on point this game. Both the offensive line and the defensive line with Shane Masters and Scott LaRue and company have been completely overwhelming this defensive and offensive line of the Chicago Wildcats. And a big 1st down. This is 2 more minutes off the clock.
I formation for ACL. Handoff, and he's going to get lit up like a Christmas tree at the line of scrimmage. Loses a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Again, Chicago needs a win, but they got to get off the field. They're inside of 2 minutes. No, I'm sorry. I'm blind. They're inside of 6 minutes left in this fourth quarter of play, and they have a chance here to get off the field if they can keep them to a third and long after the 2nd down. I formation for AC. Diaz will run it. He's going to get taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's what Chicago needed. Now they need one more big stop to force St. Louis to punt.
You know, in the 3rd down and long, this is where your safeties come to par. You know, Maurice Spurgeon, A.J. Barnes, they need to make a big play here, whether it's on, just deflecting a pass, just impeding the lane, something, making an interception, obviously. They need to make a play.
ACL, plenty of time, pocket collapses, he gets thrown down. First sack of the game for the Chicago defensive line, and it comes at the perfect time. And I believe, it was Donnie Odom, the defensive tackle, the backup, who comes in and makes a play.
Yeah, and a way to make a play is not only making a deflection, it's just playing perfect coverage, and that's what Chicago did. That was a coverage sack. Everybody was well covered on the Gladiators offense, so the only option for Dylan ACL is just to take a sack.
Well, here we go. Punt is going to be on the way. Back to retrieve it as Corey Carter. He's got the football. Juked one. He's going to have it at the 40-yard line, no further. But that is where ETK and company will start this possible crucial drive in their comeback attempt as they're down 4 points and could use a touchdown to take the lead.
Just another update. Not very good news for Vancouver. Turn down for the Sharks, and the Aztecs are going to win 44-31.
That is good news for the Legion. It's good news for everybody who's also in the hunt. Handoff. That's an odd call as they need to move the ball. That is Jared Willis who has the football, and Ethan Kai comes up and makes a tackle.
Yeah, big tackle here. Ethan Kai has been really good. Other than this, on defense, because the special teams got 2 fumbles, but on defense he's been really good. Even a sack this game, which is not common for a safety.
Under center, King to throw. Plenty of time. Puts it short. Jared Willis will try to split the seam here, and he will not get far. It'll be 3rd and 5, and this is a huge 3rd down for the Wildcats offense.
Now, what do you do? Again, this is a 3rd down and some. I think you have to involve Shane Varner here on this play.
See if they do. King to throw. Needs a completion. Goes long. Left side. Caught! It's J.C. Torres at the 20-yard line.
What I was saying, at halftime is just like they think that Chicago needed to test this defense of the Gladiators deep more often. In this half, they've been just kind of dinking and dunking, but every time they've gone deep, especially to the left-hand side with J.C. Torres, it's been money. So I think they need to rely a little bit more on deep throws because, the St. Louis Gladiators defense has been, till now, unable to stop any.
You got to keep doing it until they prove they can stop it. And you have Torres lined up at the bottom of your screen. Look how far off that coverage is playing him as well. They do not want him in the end zone. Handoff, Willis, right side off tackle. He's going to get taken down after a 1-yard gain as they enter the red zone for the 4th time tonight. They have 2 touchdowns to show for it. No, 1 touchdown to show for it. No, actually, sorry. Chicago, no touchdown to show for it in the red zone. They only have 1 field goal on their red zone offensive trips. Under center, King. 3 in the backfield. One of them is Jared Willis. Handoff, Willis, and he's going to get taken down again as he can go nowhere. 3rd and 10, and this is another huge 3rd down for Chicago.
3rd down here for the Wildcats. They need to score a touchdown here. I mean, the defense has been solid enough where I can say, hey, even if you kick a field goal, you can play some defense. You have a 2-minute warning and everything. But depending on this play, this might be 4th down situation.
King is in the gun by himself. Plenty of time to throw. Heaves it. Left side looking for Torres. It's incomplete. Oh, that was dangerous. They had the man, but he could not bring it in. It'll be 4th down and decision time for that Chicago sideline.
You have to kick the field goal. I mean, you have to play the probability game. If we kick a field goal here, we can still play some defense, get the ball back, and score another. I think that could be more probable, even though this defense has a lot of big plays. That's more probable getting a 4th and 10.
That's not a field goal. That's a catch, and it's not going to work. 2-minute warning, and the Gladiators have the football. That's a problem for Chicago, but St. Louis keeps the lead and the ball as we hit the 2-minute warning on the SFL network. An unreal turn of events. It may have been the right call by the Chicago sideline. That's up for debate for sure, but a bad decision on the route by King. He throws the ball short, and the Gladiators will start this drive out at their own 16. Run for Diaz. Has some room. They'll get out to the 20, and Chicago will call their first timeout. It's crucial. They stop them from getting a first down.
I mean, if they get a first down here, it's not officially over, but well, yeah. I mean, yeah, because you have to score a touchdown. I mean, they cannot allow it first down.
Well, they're 6 yards away from doing that. 2nd and 6. Denzel Diaz in the backfield. They need a stop, and he's going to get open field tackled, but not before he gets 3 more yards. The biggest play of the game is next up. Chicago takes another timeout. It's 3rd and 3 with the game on the line. Do you go back to Diaz here?
I will go back to Diaz, yes. I mean, you cannot throw an interception. I mean, if you throw an interception, it's like, here, gain. Right?
Yeah.
If you run the ball, I think that he can get 3 yards, and you keep the ball moving, the clock moving, and you're forcing Chicago to call it out.
See what they do. Handoff Diaz, but he gets swarmed behind the line of scrimmage. Chicago needed every bit of that. They use all of their timeouts on this drive, but they have some time to work with as they wait for a punt. Oh, man. Chicago clinging to their playoff lives. They need a win. There is no other alternative for them. They're going to be staring in the face of a minute 49 time period in which, that was nearly blocked, where they have a chance to come back. This will be a run back for Corey Carter. He'll get it to the 43-yard line. They'll mark it at the 44, and E.T. King, trying to be as cool as a cucumber. We'll see if he can do just that as it's first down.
You know, and now because you did not opt for a field goal here, you know, you still have to score a touchdown. So it's 56 yards here, still 100 seconds on the clock. So plenty of time. Even though you don't have timeouts, it's plenty of time for E.T. King to make his magic.
See what happens. King to the outside, has a throw for Jared Willis. He's going to try to get some yardage, but they need to go no huddle because they have no timeouts. Clock continues to tick, tick, tick away. King is under center. This time he'll throw short. Caught, and that's J.C. Torres. That's a first down. They continue to move the sticks. Down to a minute 18.
That's a great throw.
King, plenty of drop back on this. Throws short instead. That's a problem, and it's going to be a huge hit.
Trying to throw the ball deep.
Oh, that's a problem. Another sack. Shane Masters is second of the game. King to throw. This is third down. Tipped and incomplete. Fourth down territory, though, and they will be able to huddle up for this play. But St. Louis has done well on defense to put themselves in this spot.
And, man, I just think they got stuck in a bad situation, in a bad type of like formation here. I think it was just wrong plays, wrong time. Now they are in a better formation. Let's see if they can burn them deep.
Got to get to the 35. King throws deep. Caught at the 25 to the 20-yard line, and they're nearly in the red zone. Oh, Buchanan Simons.
With a fresh shot of down, so honestly spike the ball instead of throwing another play.
Nope, they're going to throw it. King outside. Simons caught it. Touchdown. No way.
Wow.
The comeback is complete. Chicago scores, and they take the lead and have likely knocked out the Gladiators.
Wow, and you have to feel for the Gladiators. That's just really bad coverage. But yeah, and you know that yeah, he's had a very good game so far. You know, we've seen him have some very good plays, but that was just played terribly. I mean, he did not cover the sideline, and it seemed that he was lost on the play.
Oh man. Buchanan Simons, you talk about 47, the coverage for that play. He has been pretty decent all game long. Buchanan Simons been pretty limited in his impact, but he impacts this game at the highest point. And Jesus Garcia is going to punch it in. St. Louis will get the ball back. I won't say the game is over yet, but it's close. They do have 3 timeouts, so they'll be able to get a couple plays off and maybe heave one, see if they can break the hearts of everybody in the Windy City. So we'll see what Ethan Kai can do on this return. That part's important.
This is the opportunity for Ethan Kai to redeem himself on the special teams department. 2 fumbles already. He needs to make a big play here.
So the 20, 25, 30, 31, 32-yard line maybe is where he ends up. And Dylan Aciel, who's had a pretty decent game, 1 interception that he threw earlier. Well, I mean, at this point, got to remove that. He's played a pretty decent game, 2 touchdowns through the air, and before you know it, you know, this kid's decent. He's a good quarterback, and he can really make an impact with a couple of good plays here. There's 26 seconds on the clock, all 3 timeouts for St. Louis. He's in the gun.
Go deep with Finch.
Throwing right side pit. No, nearly picked off. Not quite there. And that was dangerous, but it did not work. And Chicago breathed a sigh of relief. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Dylan Aciel was looking on that one, but it was definitely not a good thing.
He wasn't looking for Blake Hamrack, I can tell you that.
Yeah. It seemed like, but you know, with it was like 28 seconds. I think you had to probably throw the ball short to the outside, try to get some yards. I mean, you still have 3 timeouts.
And all you got to do is get it in field goal range
to tie the game.
Yeah. See what the Gladiators can do. Aciel to throw. Throws over the middle, and that's going to be caught. No, it's incomplete. I thought he had it. Nick Finch couldn't bring it in. It'll be 3rd and 10. And that is Jesse Vick with the coverage.
You know, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there were some people who was raising eyebrows.
Ooh. The
Chicago Wildcats drafted Jesse Vick 5th overall. That was more Maurice Spurgeon, but he was in pretty good coverage on the play. And so far, Jesse Vick has been a pretty good corner in his rookie year.
I'll be honest, I thought that probably should have been a fumble. That was a football play. He brought it into his possession, then dropped it.
Yeah, I will tend to agree with you.
Aciel, low snap, looks to throw. Throws. Does he have the first? He does. That's a big play. St. Louis does call the timeout with 13 left on the clock. Game not over yet. Sorry, Chicago fans. Here we go.
13 seconds. You have to think here. It's 1 play to get in field goal range, and you kick it. If you don't get to field goal range, I mean, it's going to be just 1 Hail Mary, and that's it. But this play has to be about, maybe I will say 25 yards, probably 30 yards.
Yeah, they do have a star kicker, though.
And kick it. Yeah.
So that's going to be a play for Diaz, and that's not going to get it done. They call a timeout. They have 1 remaining. Still 8 seconds left. Anything can happen in 8 seconds. You get a throw to the outside, get him out of bounds real quick. You can still get this done. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
Now, that gives you 2 plays. I mean, that puts the ball closer just a little bit. That gives you 2 plays.
Aciel to throw. Takes all the time. He's got a catch. They call the timeout.
Ooh, what do you do?
Yard line. It's going to be a 54-yard attempt if they try to kick the field goal to tie the game.
Wow. I'm not sure how the wind is. I mean, we are here in the booth.
Right.
But yeah, man.
They're going to go for it.
Did you kick it?
Nope, they're not kicking it. That's the defense on the field right now.
I mean, You cannot blame them. I mean, the kicker already. Well, they're gonna kick.
No,
it.
there he is. Okay, they are gonna kick. Okay.
Their kicker already missed a shorter field goal. He bounced it off the upright. So, man, this is
for the game.
53 yards. This is not easy.
Right hash. Snap good. Hold good. Kick on the way. Chicago is not dead yet. Game over. Chicago wins 17-14.
Wow. That bounced off the crossbar.
Yep.
Like, literally, if that pass goes for one more yard and it's a 52-yard attempt instead, that's a tie game.
Oh man, Chicago fans breathing a sigh of relief, and St. Louis is going to go home empty-handed. Had a chance to go 3-9. Instead, it's 2-10. 2 missed field goals from their star kicker, Matthew Martin, spell the difference in tonight's game in St. Louis. Chicago still in the hunt, in the playoff picture, especially after the San Francisco loss. That makes a difference, so we'll see where that ends up later, or in a couple of days when the playoff picture is released. Week 12 officially in the books for both of these teams. Chicago heads to is against Queen City in Chicago for Week 13. That's going to be a tough matchup for them. St. Louis is, well, they're 3-9 at the moment, and the schedule did not appear for me for their next game, so no big deal. With that said, this has been a presentation.
Yeah, this was it for first game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Ramos, I was going to ask you, any final thoughts, and give me your player of the game.
Yeah, my player of the game will be JC Torres. I think that he would drive at the end of the game. I think JC Torres was the motor that kept this game alive for the Wildcats, so he will be my player of the game.
Fair enough. Good stuff from Ramos Lynn. Huge thanks to you. Shan Berner, I think he's been working on stats all night as well. And with that said, for everybody here at SFL HQ, Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night from St. Louis. E.T. King is your player of the game. We will see you tomorrow night on Twitch for Fan Night as we get into the thick of the playoff race. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.